So, to me, this whole thing is crazy because I can't see if this individual is an A student at 7 years old. Why are you worried about her hair?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get to that point. And she's wearing a uniform.
And she's wearing a
It's
uniform.
not like she's not, she's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna dye my uniform pink and blue."
She's not crazy. It's not even a crazy hairstyle. She doesn't have it blonde, purple, green, red, whatever.
She don't have blonde highlights in it.
It's her natural color, and she's wearing it as she feels. Now, she's 7 years old. That means that the parents decided to make her hair lock. Okay, fine, whatever. But at the same time, should she be punished for being an individual?
Well, just looking more into the story, basically the administration felt like dreadlocks were unkempt or there were hygiene issues. So I know I hear that a lot, especially they think that, actually I was watching a program with Kobe, and he talked about one of the questions was, who's the stinkiest player? And I forget the name of the guy, but he said it was so-and-so because of his locks. And
Horace Grant.
People think that locks...
Grant had locks?
People think that locks are smelly or unhygienic, but when you if you take care of your locks, you can wash your hair. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't smell like mildew or have bugs. Well, it depends on how you lock it, but that's where the education comes. You know what I mean? And if you I don't think that it should go to the hairstyle, saying someone can't have a hairstyle. If you think a little kid needs, deodorant, or they need to wash their hair, or they haven't brushed their teeth or something, then you approach their mom or dad their parents about that. But I think that was, that's what, this article on today was saying, that they were worried about, the kids' hygiene, safety, and welfare and health.
Oh,
because of her locks.
Yeah, see, but the thing is with that, Bree, and I like the fact that you brought that up, it doesn't matter if you have locks, afro puffs, waves, whatever. If you're not taking care of your body, you're not going to take care of your hair. And this little girl looks well kept, and she's making A's.
I'm a big believer in parental authority.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a lefty screaming lefty liberal for sure, but I'm a big believer in parental authority, and I really do believe that a lot of what happens in schools today undermines the overall parental authority, and I think that there's so much paranoia about, parents afraid to assert their authority with their kids because they're concerned that another entity is going to misinterpret that as being something that's abusive. Now, I do believe that there are instances, of course, where there are certain things that are uncalled for and certain degrees of things that are uncalled for. But parents made a decision in this case, and they made the decision on their child's behalf, as is completely appropriate because they're the parent. And in essence, what you're talking about is essentially a wrestling match between the parent and the school, because that child is not in a position to be making any decision about something like that. That's her parents making that decision on her behalf, and as they have the authority to do so. So I think they had every right to make the decision, and controversial or not, they're the mom and they're the dad, and that's where the power lies, in my opinion.
And speaking of authority, I'd like to bring up something that happened in, I believe it happened in Minnesota with
boy. My friend Judge Ball.
Yeah, Judge G. Todd Ball, a district court judge, underwent scrutiny after some controversial sentencing and comments after a tragic rape case.
Yes. Well, we definitely covered this on Point of Entry.
And you did cover this on Point of Entry. I remember, you talking about it, and definitely appropriate to have you on the show today to weigh in on this matter.
Well, I was completely outraged.
Can you give us some background first before you go into your...
Absolutely. Well, essentially, you've got a judge who, sitting on the bench in Montana, and a rape case came before him. And it's not a rape case in the traditional sense of somebody, stepped out of an alley and grabbed you and sexually assaulted you. A teacher at a school was having a sexual relationship with a girl who was 14 at the time. And, I don't know the exact circumstances of where the sexual activity took place, but there was essentially ongoing activity between the two. And so this girl did go to the authorities about this man, and he was required to serve no time in prison. He did 1 day, and then he had to go to essentially a sex therapy, pedophile, sexual program. And he did not complete that program. He was fired from the program, or evicted from the program, if you will. And that's what led them to go back to court. And when they went back to court, the judge, this G. Todd Baugh, sentenced the perpetrator in this case to 30 days for his sexual relationship with the student, because he believes that the student was not chronologically actually a 14-year-old, that she was more sexually advanced than that, and as a result didn't feel that the 10-year sentence that was hanging over his head for not having completed the sexual counseling that he was to undergo was fair, and so he sentenced this gentleman to 30 days in state prison.
Wait, what is up with the chronologically not?
That's a quote.
That's a good question.
And you know
that's
something?
What I was wondering
he
about.
told that's what he said to the victim. That's what he said in court during the sentencing to the victim. And the victim had subsequently to this has committed suicide. The victim is dead.
Yes.
She killed herself after
How
this.
old did he think she was?
No, he knew exactly. He was a
knew
teacher.
exactly what he knew. All the facts. He was the
Yeah,
judge.
he was the judge.
But
The
he
judge.
said
Right.
his opinion was that chronologically, she was ahead of her time.
And therefore, it was not rape.
It was not as serious.
Right.
I forgot the exact quote. I think I have his quote somewhere.
Wow.
He said something to the effect of,
He apologized, but he only apologized because he's an elected official. Judges get elected in that state. And so there was been a screaming outcry for his recall, essentially, saying that anybody who would, arrive at that conclusion doesn't deserve to be sitting on the bench. And so there's a big recall, out for him. But, he's still there.
So these were the words. These are quotes from him. She was as much in control of the situation as he was. He also stated that she was older than her chronological age, like we just mentioned. And this is another quote. It's not probably the kind of rape most people think about. It was not a violent, forcible, beat the victim rape like you see in the movies.
Right. And
those are his words.
Right.
I mean, it not exactly, sensitive. Right there. I mean, I don't know, public. What do you think? I think that this guy is just, I don't know. It sounds out of touch. He apologized, but then he's like, he said that he misinterpreted his own words. What I'm saying, I think it was pretty clear what he was trying to say. It didn't sound like he had any mixed words.
Does he have any daughters?
I want to know.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what people aren't talking about is that if this girl was 14 years old and she was sexualized to a point where she was able to engage in an adult-like statutory rape situation with an older teacher, somebody should be looking at what her experiences were prior to her relationship with this teacher, because these pedophiles, these gentlemen out there, they definitely know who to target. And they definitely know who the weak links in the chain are, and who the people who are, the children who are most likely to be vulnerable to their sort of advances. So my question then becomes, what took place before this relationship developed?
And with the proliferation of the internet and, these chatting sites that they have with each other, like this incident we had recently in Massachusetts, where this gentleman was having communications with another man in another state, talking about he had a coffin set up in his basement.
Oh, I heard about
the
this
cage, and he was going back and forth with this guy on the internet. And I think there was also a point where the guy from, I can't remember, I don't remember the state where this gentleman's from. I think they're still looking for him. He had a picture of a child that he was planning on grabbing.
I believe he's arrested.
They arrested him?
I believe he's arrested, and I believe he's it was Western Massachusetts somewhere that he was located. And all I can say to that is that monsters live among us. They really do. Monsters live among us, and
they're not advertising, so you don't know who they are. You have to be careful.
It's a scary world out there. You have to keep your eyes open. You have to keep looking to the left, to the right. Make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. And parents, we have to teach our kids to be vigilant, to see what's going on, to know what's going on, to look around, to make sure you're aware of your surroundings. And be nosy. Get involved in your child's life. Yeah, look at their computer. Search their bags.
Read the email.
Read
I don't let my son on Facebook now. My son just turned 13. And, there's a sense of back and forth on, that's a personal decision for a lot of parents, whether or not they want to let their kids on Facebook. I'm a big believer in the boundaries and barriers to things. And I also think that at this age, would you really want to have, would you tattoo your child at 13? I would not tattoo my child at 13. But when you would put something on Facebook, when you put something on the internet, it's like an informational tattoo. It goes nowhere. It stays there forever. And I believe at his age, he is not old enough yet to be able to make the appropriate judgment and decisions on what is going to be out there permanently. At my age,
there's enough grown men.
I was about to say. Ready. I wonder if I'm safe. I still got to second guess myself.
There's many adults that aren't ready to deal with Facebook, much less a 13-year-old.
I love that metaphor of a tattoo.
You're
is absolutely right.
It is, because it's a permanent thing, and it's and also too, you know what? My kid was bullied for a period of time, and if he had to deal with cyberbullying too, on top of it, which is what leads to so many of these kids to commit suicide, because there is no safe place. There is no place to come and shut the door. If you have to turn on your phone or your computer, and that entity or that group of people can get to you, just like they could as if you're sitting right next to them, it's all set. It's all over.
Anne-Marie, tell us about what you're going to be talking about on your show tonight.
Well, tonight we have a couple of things we're going to be talking about. First, we have a phone-in guest, Mr. Don Portello, who is the writer-director, and I would say he's the principal in Door 11 Productions. He has written and directed a short film called Nikki, which is based on a short story written by his business partner, Ken Flott. He'll be calling in to discuss his movie. Also tonight, Lisa DiRigo and I will be, basically banging around some of the news of the day. And I put a question out there on Facebook today. What do you have to do? What would it take for you to unfriend somebody on Facebook? What would they have to do in order for you to unfriend them? Or is it just a boundary issue? So we're gonna talk about that a little, and what the etiquette is surrounding making that decision to shut somebody out of your life.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think it involves more than I hope it doesn't involve more than a breakup letter. But
I was gonna say that not do.
Dear John.
So that is Anne-Marie Broderick with her show coming on at 7:30, from 7:30 to 9:30 every Sunday. Point of entry. Please join her.
Support her.
And
much love to Lisa DiRigo, who is my co-host, because what she did this week is went out and got me 300 more Twitter followers, and I love her for that.
Right.
Thrilled. Lisa worked Twitter like a maniac. I got news. I kept sending her little emails that said, I am not worthy. I got her a big bouquet of flowers. I'm so grateful for her hard work. That sounds like a good
partner.
Yes, she's the best. Very good.
And Bree, do you have any closing, anything that you'd like to close with?
Again, I just love our show. I always leave with a whole, a wealth of knowledge and a whole new perspective on a lot of things. I so appreciate Anne-Marie with blessing our show. I love seeing powerful women, and I love seeing passionate women who are just do what they're ready to do. And she has a 9 to 5, and she's doing a radio show because that's what she wants to do. So
it was
just
great being here. I so appreciate it. Very flattered. It was a wonderful time. I always see you guys in passing. I'm coming in as you guys are leaving, and we've had time to chat here and there. But this is the first time I've really been able to sit in and just experience your wonderful energy. It's great, and you're very well spoken and very up on the issue. So I always appreciate that.
Thank you. And just Anthony Cook. I just like to say, there's a lot of things out there. Just be aware. Don't be afraid to read.
Information is power.
Information is power, absolutely. And that's all I really have to say about that. And stay tuned to the memoirs. Public, we'd like to finish off.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Anne-Marie once again for just blessing us, because you've been a wonderful inspiration. And I hope our listeners can follow and also listen to your show as well.
Thank you.
So definitely support Gag Order Network, support the Minority Men Show, support Point of Entry, support Anne-Marie and all her hosts and co-hosts and stars, and just keep listening to the Minority Men Show.
Yeah, something that we didn't talk about today, the mayoral race in Boston, yes. You guys, please go to some meet and greets, get to know these candidates.
And we're definitely going to be talking about it next Sunday. So yeah.
Yes, please. But it's in 2 weeks. Vote.
And your vote counts, because they're only expecting about 24,000 people to actually go to the polls. So your vote could make a difference.
Absolutely can.
Yeah, we're going to be going in on our listeners about that primary definitely next week. But public, what else would you like to say?
So that's it. We'll see you next week. Same channel, same bad time. This is the Minority Men Show. Thanks to Anthony Cook, Bree, Anne-Marie, and I'm your boy Public Announcement. All the callers, Mr. Wilson, J. Who. Thank you very much. And big shout out to our phenomenal producer, Mr. Ivan Drago.
I would punish him.